let's talk about the narcissist as a simpleton. I use the term simpleton because after I did the Rules of Engagement playlist, I commented on one of my videos. I responded to a viewer, and when I go back, I can't find it. It's sort of an epiphany that I had when talking about narcissists and how they respond to the things you say, or when they're in the wrong. Anything they ever say, whenever they do wrong, when you confront them and you attempt to tug on that mask, and they start using all of their manipulation tactics. So even whenever they're not in the wrong, but just their modus operandi and their manipulation tactics, it's really sad more than anything else. It's really, really easy to hate them, and it's really easy to be mad and be resentful and to be hurt and to want your revenge. Those are all easy feelings to feel. That's why we feel them. Those are the easy responses for us to have. What are the difficult responses for us to have? Seeing the truth? Well, that's very difficult because they make it difficult to see the truth. Coming to some understanding, having patience, and truly giving zero fucks about how they see the world or how they see you. Having that level of confidence in yourself and what you stand for. Anger is easy. Resentment is easy. Blaming them for their behaviors is really easy. That's why we feel those feelings. Not necessarily because they're right, because they're easy feelings. It's easy for us to feel that way, see? So, that's our go-to. We get mad. Understand, the issue with the narcissist is not the complexity of their nature, their true nature. It's their oversimplified nature. They're not complex. They are problematically simple. This is what I mean. A disorder like narcissism and a disorder like borderline personality disorder, they're both closely related, first of all. They are defined most specifically as deficits in specific areas of their personality. They have deficits in whole object relations. They have deficits in object constancy. They have deficits in self-esteem. They have deficits in themselves. They have deficits in their full spectrum of emotions that they can feel and act upon and respond to. They're spiritually disabled, to put it in a big gray term that doesn't really exist except in my head. But think about this, really think about it. I don't want to say it's a mental disability because that really does no service to people who are mentally disabled. But it's more of like an emotional disability. And their nature comes from compensatory mechanisms. They have to compensate. They grow up not being able to fully express and show true love, or even feeling love. The second somebody hurts their feelings or they get their feelings hurt, they lash out. They cannot recover from having their feelings hurt, not on their own. one of the driving differences between the two is borderlines don't have a clear method of recovering from an emotional injury. Somebody else has to calm them down. They need an emotional regulator, somebody to step in and say, whoa, he's not worth it, it's not worth it, it's not worth it, right? These are the ones when you get mad, or when people get mad, especially those with disorders, and you hear the term, now don't do something stupid, right? Those are the people who struggle emotionally to handle their emotions. They use things like, you're making me mad, and that's a term that we throw around far too much because people don't have those kinds of superpowers to hold over you. People cannot make you mad, but you can fail to control your emotional response. You can fail to process what somebody's truly saying. You can fail at managing yourself in a social situation, and all too easily allow yourself to lose control of yourself and your response. But we justify it and we excuse it by saying, well, I got triggered. Okay? What is triggering? Is triggering somebody else's fault? Or was it a personal failure to control yourself and to stay in the proper space mentally? These are very, very profound things to think about. A narcissist is simple. They're very simple. They're either right or you're wrong. That's the only thing that they can process and understand. They cannot process when they are wrong and they get it wrong. And they cannot process when they have wronged somebody else. It's like a big blind spot for them. Like they're wearing a blindfold, It's like a horse with blinders on. Anytime you go to anywhere where there's a horse and a buggy, imagine for a second if you had a horse and carriage, and the horse has the blinders on, and this horse, all of a sudden the driver falls off, for example. Now you have a horse pulling a carriage with people. Horse has blinders on, no idea where it's going. Well, eventually the horse might go off-road, and he doesn't really care because he's got feet. But the people that they're dragging along for the ride start suffering, bouncing along. God knows where this horse is going to take them. Is it the horse's fault? Well, for the people in the carriage, they might think this horse is a giant asshole. Why is this horse doing this? Why is this horse behaving this way? Dragging us off the streets, through the wherever a horse and buggy could go. This horse is an asshole. It's really easy to get mad at the horse. Blame the horse. You get frustrated with the horse, yelling at the horse. That's not the road. Where are you going, horse? And the horse is like, don't know. You get frustrated with the horse. You get mad at the horse. You blame the horse. You think the horse is the biggest asshole in the world. But at the end of the day, the horse has a vision problem. The horse has blinders on. The horse, through no real actions of his own, can never really pull those off. It's kind of sad. Now, yes, because I know I'm going to take some flack on this. And if you're already writing your comment, just hold up. Because this is not to say that every bad person, every narcissistic borderline is completely, unable to help themselves. I'm not excusing it. So don't go there. What I'm saying is, we have to learn not to interpret everything narcissists do as being intentional. We have to learn not to interpret every consequence of their actions as intentional. It's like a horse with blinders on pulling the carriage off the road and down into the ditch somewhere. The horse has blinders on. The horse is going to start blaming the people in the carriage. The horse has no idea he's down in the ditch. I mean, figuratively speaking, I'm sure he can feel his feet, but I'm just saying, all of a sudden that horse is going to feel like the carriage is really pulling hard against him, and he's not going to know why. He has the blinders on. Doesn't have a clue where he is. All he knows is that the carriage is weighing him down, pulling really hard on him. That horse is going to blame the people in that carriage. Like, damn, did everybody get fat? Did people get off the carriage and now they're pulling back on me? Why are they holding me back? Why are they trying to make my life difficult when I'm the one pulling the carriage? You see how that works? So it's sad. All of the emotional turmoil, all of the social friction that they encounter, that friction comes from their overly simplistic nature. It comes from their blindness. It comes from their disability and their manipulative nature has come about as a means of compensating for this blindness, because they can't see. They can't see what they're doing. They don't understand what they're doing. They don't understand that they are the problem. They believe that the carriage is the problem. They can't see what's in front of them, or in the case of horses, even what's to the side of them. Their viewpoint is extremely limited, and they cannot see what you're pointing to when you're trying to identify the problem. They just don't have that ability. And because of that blindness, borderlines fear the eventual abandonment of those around them. Like, they know something's wrong. They know that they always tend to screw things up, but they tend to not really understand why they do the things they do and how they get to that point of always screwing it up. They just know that it's an eventuality. And, I've met people that I've heard the term, I feel destined to become a crazy old cat lady living by myself with a bunch of cats. Because I always, in the end, I always end up screwing myself over. There's an indicator. If narcissists have an image that they cling to, where they know they have a rough upbringing, they try to correct things, and they say, well, I had it hard. I came from nothing, but look at me, I was able to set out and accomplish anyways. Look at me now. And so they find this system that has worked for them. And so in their minds, it's the way things are. It's the way things work, because that is what led them to this image of success for themselves, this goal that they've reached, their accomplishment. So clearly this is the way to go. And they feel pretty confident that they have found the right way to be and the correct way of doing things. And if that makes it very difficult to approach them, because obviously they know what they're doing, because they did what they set out to do. Good luck convincing them otherwise, So it's really kind of a sad situation. Now, I'm not saying that you should suddenly feel different about the things you've been through. I'm not saying that all of a sudden you should just be nice and just pretend that none of it happened. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying maybe don't always go for the easy reaction, the easy response, the easy feelings. Just because it's easy doesn't mean it's good for you. What's easy is not always best for you as a person, you spiritually. So think about it. Thank you very much. Please like, comment, or share. I'll see you on the next video.